Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for May 31st, 2025. Firstly, the global economy continues to navigate complex trends, with trade policies and geopolitical interactions playing a significant role. We've seen developments in international relations that underscore the interconnectedness of our world, emphasizing the need for multiple perspectives and staying informed about the latest updates. Secondly, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has escalated, with Russian forces advancing into Ukrainian territory, resulting in civilian casualties and infrastructure damage. Diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire are stalled, and the humanitarian situation is becoming increasingly dire. The international community is urged to work towards a peaceful resolution, prioritizing the protection of civilians and human life. Lastly, Norway's International Development Minister has warned that Israel's actions in Gaza are setting a perilous precedent for international human rights law violations, making the world a more dangerous place. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to worsen, with over 1 million people at risk of famine. The Norwegian government has reaffirmed its commitment to dialogue and diplomacy, emphasizing the need for the international community to come together to find a solution to this pressing humanitarian challenge. These stories highlight the complexity and urgency of global issues, from economic trends to conflict zones and humanitarian crises. As we navigate these developments, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and remain informed about the latest updates. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay informed and engaged with the world around you. That's all for now. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, in Nigeria, devastating floods have resulted in the loss of over 150 lives and displaced many more. The flooding, triggered by heavy rain and exacerbated by a collapsed dam, has highlighted the urgent need for effective flood management strategies in the country. We've been following this story closely and will continue to provide updates as more information becomes available. Secondly, in Japan, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has announced plans to increase the country's defense budget in response to growing regional security concerns. This significant shift in Japan's defense policy is seen as a response to the changing security landscape in the region. Lastly, tensions between Israel and Palestine have escalated, with Israel blocking a planned meeting of Arab ministers in Ramallah and warning Hamas to accept a hostage deal or face annihilation. The international community continues to push for a two-state solution, recognizing a Palestinian state as essential for achieving peace and stability in the region. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in this critical story. These stories represent some of the most pressing issues facing our world today, from natural disasters to geopolitical tensions. At AI Daily Press, we're committed to bringing you balanced and accurate reporting, avoiding bias and sensationalism. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again soon with more news and analysis from around the globe. This is Barbara, signing off. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. We've got a packed show for you tonight, covering the latest developments in global politics, trade, and economic trends. First off, we're seeing increased tensions between the European Union and the United States as they navigate complex global conflicts, including the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza. The EU has announced a review of its preferential trade arrangements with Israel, while U.S. President Donald Trump has hinted at a possible shift in his administration's stance on the Ukraine-Russia conflict. In other news, the Shangri-La Dialogue has highlighted the need for greater cooperation to address emerging threats in cyber, space, and sea domain. World leaders are emphasizing the importance of collective action to prevent economic disruptions and systemic shocks. On the economic front, we're seeing uncertainty surrounding trade and economic policy, with the U.S. stock market navigating complex developments. The Federal Reserve is watching the situation closely, and investors are being cautioned to remain cautious and balanced in their analysis. Finally, we've got updates on the latest market trends, including the yield on the 10-year Treasury note rising to 2.15%. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and bringing you in-depth analysis and updates as more information becomes available. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night, and stay informed. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Lewis. Firstly, we looked at a breakthrough in metabolism research, where scientists have developed a novel approach to study complex metabolic reactions using advanced technologies like mass spectrometry and stable isotope tracing. This has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of how living organisms function and could lead to new strategies for improving human health and optimizing crop yields. Next, we celebrated a milestone in space travel as Blue Origin completed its 12th human flight to space, marking a significant step forward for the company and humanity's pursuit of space exploration. The New Shepard program is paving the way for a new generation of space travelers and pushing the boundaries of technological innovation. Lastly, we touched on another story where NASA's Artemis program is making strides in its mission to return humans to the lunar surface by 2025. Although not fully elaborated upon in our previous discussions, this endeavor represents a crucial step towards further human exploration of the solar system. These stories remind us that as we continue to explore and settle the cosmos, it's essential to do so with a deep respect for the delicate balance of our ecosystem and a commitment to preserving the beauty and wonder of the universe for future generations. The AI Daily Press will keep you updated on these developing stories and more. Thank you for joining me tonight, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First, in the world of professional sports, NFL star Patrick Mahomes has announced his decision not to participate in Olympic flag football, citing a thoughtful consideration for his own career trajectory and the future of the sport. This move underscores the evolving nature of professional sports, where athletes are increasingly recognized as ambassadors for their countries and leagues. In college sports, a brewing controversy surrounds the potential expansion of the NCAA tournament and college football playoff, with power conferences like the SEC and Big Ten leading the charge. As we delve into the intricacies of this debate, it's essential to acknowledge that the current landscape of college sports is undergoing a seismic shift, driven by the advent of name, image, and likeness deals and the transfer portal. We've also been following local sports news, where high school teams are gearing up for their respective championships. Our team has been on the ground, providing in-depth coverage and analysis of these exciting developments. As we look to the future, one thing remains clear. The world of sports is ever-evolving, driven by the passions, decisions, and performances of its athletes. The AI Daily Press will continue to bring you the latest news, analysis, and insights from the intersection of sports and society. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. This is Howard Closewell speaking, bringing you the best in sports journalism. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Currell.
Thank you, Howard. Tonight, we're bringing you a brief summary of our recent stories. We began with a cautionary tale about the importance of respecting wildlife. As a family in Australia, learned a valuable lesson about not feeding kangaroos. We then shifted gears to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Wet Dog Triathlon, a heartwarming event that brings together athletes of all ages and backgrounds to support a great cause. Finally, we shone a spotlight on Ruby Ibarra, a talented young Filipino-American rapper who's making waves in the music industry with her powerful voice and unapologetic message. Her story is a testament to the impact that art can have on social justice and the importance of creating inclusive spaces for artists to thrive. These stories remind us that even in challenging times, there's always hope, always kindness, and always the potential for positive change. Thank you for joining us tonight on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night and stay inspired. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we took a closer look at the Korean drama phenomenon that's sweeping the nation. We dove into the world of Squid Game and explored what makes it so addictive. If you haven't checked it out yet, trust me, you won't want to miss it. Next, we reported on the passing of talented actress Vailer Mahaffey, who left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry with her versatile performances on stage and screen. We remembered her remarkable career and the impact she had on those around her. Last but not least, we shone the spotlight on Hoda Kotb's exciting new venture into wellness entrepreneurship. The beloved NBC News mainstay has launched her own platform, Joy, which aims to spread love, kindness, and hope through online courses and community events. We can't wait to see where this journey takes her. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, stay entertained, informed, and joyful. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we looked at the impact of budget cuts on conservation efforts, specifically the story of a vital program that's facing funding reductions, which could have severe consequences for endangered species and ecosystems. We explored the potential effects of these cuts and the importance of continued support for conservation initiatives. Next, we traveled to South Africa, where the rediscovery of a remarkable gecko in the Blyde River Canyon reminded us of the incredible diversity of life on our planet. This story highlighted the significance of preserving unique ecosystems like the Blyde River Canyon, which is home to diverse wildlife and plants that are worth protecting. Lastly, we focused on the pressing issue of climate change and its far-reaching consequences for our planet's biodiversity. We spoke with research scientist Kyra Clark-Wolf about her work on developing scenarios to predict and prepare for the uncertain future of ecosystems like the giant sequoias in the western United States. Her team is taking a collaborative approach, considering multiple possibilities and outcomes to identify strategic actions that can help manage forests and other ecosystems in the face of climate change. These stories underscore the importance of continued conservation efforts, preserving our natural heritage, and addressing the challenges posed by climate change. We'll continue to follow these stories and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us tonight on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.